Welcome to the Selfie Seeker Deep Dive, exploring attachment styles in the movies.
Because through their stories, you can uncover your own inner patterns.
So this is episode 2 in our series.
The screen tells their story, but the echo is ours. Attachment styles in the movies with Selfie Seeker Deep Dive. Because through their stories, you can uncover your own inner patterns.
And if you're just joining us, and maybe attachment theory is kind of new for you,
Yeah.
I'd really recommend going back to episode 1. We talked about the film Closer there, and it gives a much more in-depth introduction.
Definitely worth it. But for now, maybe just a quick refresher for everyone.
Good idea. So we're talking about attachment styles. Basically, these are fundamental patterns. They get set up incredibly early in life.
Right. Mostly based on how we first experienced things like love, care, and, safety from our main caregivers usually.
Exactly. And these patterns, they stick with us. They really shape how we connect with people later on.
How we protect ourselves, too. And just how we react, how we respond to closeness when we're adults.
We often talk about 4 main styles.
Yeah, the 4 main ones we tend to focus on are first, secure. These are folks who are generally comfortable with intimacy and independence. Okay, then there's anxious, often really seeking closeness, but also wrestling with fears of abandonment, that kind of thing.
Right.
Next up is avoidant. These individuals tend to value self-reliance, maybe struggle a bit with deep emotional connection. And finally, fearful avoidant, which is, well, it's complex. It's wanting closeness, but also being quite afraid of it at the same time.
That sounds tricky.
It can be. But the key thing really is that each of these styles, at its core, it's a strategy, a way our younger selves learn to navigate connection and, frankly, survive.
That's a great way to put it. Survival strategies. And today, we're diving deep into, well, a real classic, isn't it? Good Will Hunting.
Oh, absolutely.
The 1997 film, Matt Damon, Robin Williams, Ben Affleck, Minnie Driver, just an incredible cast.
Incredible. And it's such a raw emotional landscape. It really rips open our understanding of things like genius trauma and just the sheer courage it takes to actually heal.
It really does. It's such a vivid portrayal.
And often heartbreaking, I think. It shows how that deep early trauma can just block opportunities later in life.
Right.
And how even things like, incredible intelligence or that kind of fierce rebellion Will has.
Yeah, the attitude.
Exactly, how they can actually function as these powerful masks hiding deep, unmet needs underneath.
And also, crucially, how certain people can kind of show up in our lives. Like these pivotal figures, almost like invitations to grow beyond those masks.
That's a perfect segue, actually, that idea of invitations. It really frames what we want to unpack today.
Yeah, I want everyone listening to just imagine this for a second. Life is constantly sending out invitations.
What kind of invitations?
Well, invitations to, deeper love, maybe significant personal growth, invitations to contribute your unique gifts, whatever they are.
To step into a fuller version of yourself.
Exactly. More integrated self. And the thing is, these invitations, they don't usually arrive like, an email or something.
Right. They often show up as people.
Yes. A mentor, maybe a potential partner, a really true friend, they appear almost like they're custom made for us.
To help us move past our old stuff, our familiar patterns.
Yeah. And here's the kicker.
Here's the tragic irony, right?
Yeah.
We end up interacting with these exact invitations, these specific people, in ways that just echo our old wounds, our attachment stuff.
So we end up canceling them.
Yeah. Often completely unconsciously, we cancel the very invitations that could genuinely transform our lives.
Just because they challenge those patterns, those protective, familiar ways of being.
Precisely, because they feel threatening. The real deep dive here, I think, is recognizing that the opportunities that promise the most growth often feel like the biggest threats to our survival mechanisms, those old strategies we talked about.
Wow. It's not just resistance then. It's like...
It's your history screaming danger inside you.
Okay, that perfectly sets up Will Hunting's story. Let's start near the beginning. that really key early scene, the bar scene.
Right, where he first meets Skylar.
Yeah. We see him in that Harvard bar, and he just intellectually dismantles that pretentious grad student's argument.
Totally takes him apart.
With this incredibly sharp mind. He's obviously brilliant. But how is that genius working there? Is it just about being smart? Or is it something more in terms of connection?
Well, that's what's so fascinating, isn't it? Will's wit, his intellect. It's not just about being clever. It's very much a mask.
A mask.
And a weapon, yeah. That scene, it's not just about showing off how smart he is. It's actually like deeply ingrained class warfare playing out through knowledge.
Wow, class warfare. How so?
Well, think about it. The Harvard student represents this whole world, this elite world that Will feels completely excluded from and probably shamed by on some level.
Okay. Yeah.
So when Will exposes him, points out how the guy's whole argument came from books that cost him, what was it, $1.50 in late fees at the public library?
Right, remember that line.
He's not just proving he's smarter, he's kind of exposing the lie, you know? The lie that elite education automatically creates superior minds.
And using his own brilliance to sort of...
To weaponize it, to prove he belongs, even if society tells him he doesn't. He's fighting back with his intellect.
And then Skylar approaches him right after that, and he turns that same quick wit on her.
Exactly, that same intellectual charm. But it feels like a performance, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Like he's trying to control how she sees him right from the start.
It is a performance. And it's designed, really, to protect himself, preemptively.
By keeping her at a distance.
Yeah, creating a boundary. It looks charming on the surface, but it actually keeps genuine intimacy, real connection at bay.
And that famous line, how do you like them apples?
Right. That's not really directed just at Skylar, is it? It's for his friends. It's for the whole Harvard crowd watching.
It's like a victory cry.
It is a claim of victory, a way to prove his worth in that, class combat. It's not about connecting intimately with her.
And the cost of that protection is?
Well, the cost is huge, ultimately. It means he can't be truly seen or accepted for his authentic self, the wounded self underneath the brilliance.
Wow. Okay, that really sets up this incredible tension in him. And it makes Sean's approach later so different and so crucial.
Totally, because Sean doesn't fall for the performance.
Right. Let's talk about that scene on the bench.
Yeah.
This is after their first meeting, which was pretty explosive, right?
Yeah, a real clash of wills. Will tried to use his usual tactics on Sean, dissecting his life, his painting.
And Sean wasn't having it.
Not at all. So instead of getting into another intellectual argument, which is Will's home turf.
What Will expects, yeah.
Sean just takes him to a park bench. Simple as that.
And what happens there is just profound.
It's a massive turning point. Because Sean doesn't debate him. He speaks from this place of deep lived experience.
He talks about real life, not books.
Exactly. He doesn't just throw facts or theories at Will. He talks about what it feels like, to truly love someone, to experience devastating loss.
Holding his wife while she was dying.
Right. Sitting by someone's hospital bed, even just knowing the unique smell of the Sistine Chapel, something you can't get from a book.
He basically tells Will, you know facts, but you don't know what it feels like.
Precisely. And in doing that, Sean offers Will something incredibly rare, something he probably never, ever got in childhood.
Which is?
A calm, grounded, regulated presence. Even when faced with Will's emotional intensity, his lashing out.
Okay, regulated presence. What does that mean in this context?
It's what we call co-regulation. Essentially, Sean's own calm, steady nervous system acts like an anchor. It literally helps Will's agitated, dysregulated system begin to settle down, even just a little.
So Sean's calmness is sort of contagious.
In a way, yeah. It provides a safe container. And that safety, that regulated presence, it starts to ever so slightly crack those deep, carefully built avoidant defenses Will has.
Wow. It's not about arguing. It's about presence.
It's about embodied truth versus intellectual deflection.
And that presence, that groundwork, laid on the bench, it makes the later breakthrough possible, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It opens the door for what happens in Sean's office. That incredible scene where just one phrase gets repeated.
It's not your fault.
Over and over. Yeah, that scene is just, it's the heart of the healing journey in the film, I think. And it's so raw.
Will's first reaction is just, no. Right? Like, intellectually, he gets it.
Exactly. That's his intellect, his defense mechanism, trying desperately to keep him safe. I know this already. You don't need to tell me.
But it's not about knowing it in his head.
Not at all. Because trauma doesn't live up there in our conscious thoughts. It lives deep down in our bodies, in our nervous systems.
And those implicit beliefs we carry around.
Right. And the thing about kids who experience abuse or neglect, They almost always internalize it. They think it is their fault.
Like, I must be bad, or if I were better, this wouldn't be happening.
Exactly that kind of logic. It creates this profound, undeserved sense of shame. And for Will, it's even more complicated because he's so intelligent.
You mean, why can't he just think his way out of feeling that shame?
Precisely. Logically, he knows it wasn't his fault. But his body, his emotional self, still feels like it was. There's a huge disconnect.
Also, what Sean does.
Sean's persistence is key. He just keeps repeating it, calmly, firmly. He refuses to let Will deflect intellectually. He stays with the emotional truth.
He doesn't back down.
No. And that creates this incredibly powerful moment of what we call attachment repair.
Attachment repair.
Yeah.
It's
like Sean provides the safe holding presence that Will never got when the original trauma happened. He allows Will finally to release years and years of stored up pain, that grief, that shame.
But for the first time, maybe ever, to just be emotionally held in that pain.
Yes, to let someone else witness it, share the burden of it without judgment, it's incredibly moving.
It really is. Watching him finally break down, sob like that.
Yeah.
It's unforgettable. It makes you think about how much unspoken grief so many people carry.
Absolutely. That visceral release is palpable.
And yet, even after this monumental breakthrough, we then see him almost immediately turn around and sabotage those amazing job offers he's getting.
Right. Sending Chucky in his place.
Or that whole scene where he just mocks the guys from the NSA. It seems so counterintuitive after that moment of healing. What's driving that job sabotage?
Yeah, it does seem backward, doesn't it? But it's crucial to understand this isn't just like surface-level rebellion or arrogance.
It goes deeper.
Much deeper. It's a deeply ingrained survival response kicking in. For Will, the actual idea of success, of leaving Boston, his friends, his whole known world,
The idea of entering these big, prestigious new environments
is perceived by his body, by his nervous system, as a profound threat. It triggers a primal fear response.
like fight or flight.
Exactly. His heart rate probably goes up, muscles tense, maybe he feels sick. His system, shaped fundamentally by trauma, is just screaming, danger, 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 get out.
So sabotaging the job.
It brings immediate relief. It's like escaping a burning building that only exists inside him. It feels safer to stay small, stay known.
That NSA speech he gives is fascinating too, where he lays out how his genius could be used for destruction.
Oh, totally. That reveals the core logic of a traumatized system, doesn't it? It's like he believes, if I actually succeed, if I step out there, destruction will follow. Or being noticed means eventually being hurt.
So he's protecting himself from the perceived danger that comes with expansion,
Yeah.
with visibility.
Yes, and crucially, the danger of leaving behind the people who anchor him, his chosen family, his friends. That loyalty runs incredibly deep.
And that fear, that survival response, it plays out so tragically in his relationship with Skylar.
Oh, definitely. That breakup with Skylar is heartbreaking.
She invites him to come with her to California. She's offering him a future, real intimacy.
And he just can't accept it. He pushes her away so hard.
Why? Is it the same fear?
It's that fear amplified, I think, because Skylar represents the greatest danger to his whole defensive system.
How so? More dangerous than a fancy job.
Because genuine intimacy escalates his anxiety to an almost unbearable level. She's asking for real vulnerability.
She wants to know about his childhood, his family, his poverty, the stuff he keeps hidden.
Exactly. And the gender dynamics are probably part of the threat, too. With Sean, it's therapy, there are clear boundaries. With his friends, emotional expression is kind of contained within their usual, masculine norms.
Skylar wants.
Everything.
She wants all of him. His
Oh.
body, his mind, his past, his future. It's terrifying for him. So what does he do?
He uses his trauma against her.
He weaponizes it. He reveals the abuse from foster care, but not as a way to connect, not asking for understanding.
No, he throws it at her. Like a wall.
Precisely. To push her away. He insists she'll eventually leave him anyway once she really knows who he is, where he comes from.
He tells her he doesn't love her, even though we know he does.
He destroys the relationship himself. Why? To control the outcome. To avoid the possibility of being abandoned later, he initiates the abandonment now.
Wow. It shows just how badly trauma can distort love, doesn't it? Making intimacy feel like the most dangerous thing in the world. It equates closeness with inevitable pain and danger. It's a terrible bind.
So after all this struggle, all these defense mechanisms, the sabotage, the pushing away, we get to the end of the film.
That quiet, powerful ending.
Will leaves that note for Sean. Just says, sorry guys, Had to go see about a girl.
Yeah. Simple, but says everything.
And he gets in that old car his friends rebuilt for him, and he just drives. He drives off towards California, leaving Boston. It feels like such a huge leap.
It absolutely is. It signifies just profound courage, I think.
It's not like his fear is suddenly gone, though, is it?
Not at all. That's the key. It's not an erasure of his past or that he's suddenly cured. It's a conscious, deliberate choice. He's choosing to risk possibility over the perceived safety of staying stuck.
And Sean's role was crucial in getting him there.
Hugely. Through Sean's consistent, unwavering presence, even when Will was being incredibly difficult, defensive, prickly.
Right. Sean didn't give up on him.
No. And that consistency, that reliability, helped Will develop what we call earned security.
Earned security, like he built it through that relationship.
Exactly. It creates new neural pathways, literally rewires the brain to expect safety and connection, not just threat. Sean became an internalized secure base for him, something he could carry inside.
And we can't forget his friends either, right? Chucky's role.
Oh, absolutely crucial. Chucky telling him he owes it to himself to leave, that it would be an insult not to take his chance.
That's like the ultimate act of love from his friend, isn't it?
It really is. You could call it the ultimate act of working-class male love, giving him explicit permission to leave, to transcend those class boundaries, to pursue a life beyond the neighborhood that they all know might limit him.
It's giving him permission to grow.
Yes. And that old car they fixed up for him, it's such a perfect symbol.
How so?
He's literally carrying his history with him. The car represents his roots, his friends, his past. But he's driving it towards something new. He's integrating all those contradictions, all those parts of himself, and moving toward an uncertain but chosen future.
That's beautiful. Okay, so looking back at Will's whole journey, there are these really powerful themes running through it, aren't there? Themes that kind of weave together into something universal about our own patterns.
Absolutely. Several key themes really stand out. The first one, which we touched on earlier, is the canceled invitation.
Right, how we reject opportunities for growth.
It's so striking in Will's story. It's not just a one-off thing. It's like this powerful, almost gravitational force in his life. It really shows us how deeply our past can program us to push away the very healing, the very opportunities we might actually crave.
Because growth feels like danger.
Exactly. So he kept canceling those invitations, whether they came as love, like Skylar, or as career opportunities. He crumpled them up before he could even see what was inside.
And directly linked to that is the theme of the genius and the mask.
His incredible intellect, that rebellious attitude. They were so much more than just personality traits, weren't they?
They were shields.
The powerful shields, yeah. They absolutely helped him navigate his world, compete against privilege, survive. But the downside was they created this almost impenetrable barrier.
Preventing real vulnerability.
And preventing the risk and the possibility of being truly loved for who he actually was, underneath the performance, not just for his brilliant mind.
In a sense. And the third theme.
I'd say it's the chosen family and the leap. His friendships, particularly with Chucky and the guys, they were vital. They gave him that essential sense of belonging, a secure base, even if it was within, pretty strict cultural rules.
Belonging is so important.
Essential for all of us, but comfort zones can also limit our potential.
They can keep us stuck.
Yeah. And Will's journey shows that true growth often means figuring out how to honor our roots, honor the people who anchored us.
While still having the courage to bravely embrace new experiences, new identities, things that take us beyond what's familiar.
It's about expanding your world, not erasing your past, finding a way to integrate both.
Thinking about those shields and masks. It feels like Will wasn't just battling his own personal history, his own trauma.
No, you're absolutely right. There was another layer.
This huge weight of societal expectations, right? Especially around masculinity.
Yes. You've hit on something really crucial there. The specific working class culture of South Boston, combined with broader societal ideas about what it means to be a man.
Be tough, be witty.
Never show vulnerability, never admit need. Weakness is unacceptable. That stuff significantly compounded Will's trauma.
It made it even harder for him to take off the masks.
Much harder. Because admitting pain or fear wasn't just personally difficult, it violated the code. So for Will, real growth, that leap at the end, it required more than just dealing with his past abuse.
It required releasing the known.
Exactly. Releasing those deeply ingrained roles, those identities, the tough guy, the genius rebel that had once protected him but now ultimately confined him. He had to let go of the known to open himself up to the terrifying unknown of a different kind of life, a different way of being.
And that idea, letting go of old identities, That feels incredibly relevant for, well, probably most of us at some point.
It absolutely is. I think for many people, maybe even most, moving into a fuller, more authentic life involves exactly that, letting
Yeah.
go of old identities that once served a purpose, maybe kept us safe during difficult times.
Yep.
But now they're actually holding us back. They've become too small. It's a fundamental turning point in almost any significant growth journey.
It sounds like a loss, in a way, even if it's positive.
It often is a loss. And acknowledging that grief is important. Actually, if people want to explore this idea more, there's a Selfie Seeker video called What Loss Leaves in Your Hands, What Life Asks You to Release Before You Expand Your Horizons.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it digs into exactly that, how release, even though it can be painful, is often the necessary first step towards genuine growth and expansion. Letting go to make space.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay, so as we always like to do, let's bring this back to you, our listener. What does this deep dive into Will's story mean for you?
Time for some reflection.
Let's start with that first theme, those canceled invitations. Take a moment and think. What invitations might life have sent your way that maybe you unconsciously or even consciously just crumpled up, never really opened or explored?
Yeah, and maybe consider this. What if something you experience as the worst thing that ever happened, or an opportunity you fiercely resisted? What if it was actually a disguised invitation? An invitation to grow, but it got crumpled before you even saw the return address?
Wow, that's provocative.
Or maybe more gently, who has entered your life who felt like an invitation to grow? A mentor, a partner, a friend? And how did you respond to that invitation, especially thinking about your own attachment patterns?
Okay, lots to chew on there.
Yeah.
And for our second reflection point, let's think about the leap beyond comfort. Where in your own life, maybe right now, are you clinging to a comfort zone? Or maybe holding on to an old identity because it feels safe?
Even if, deep down, you suspect it might be limiting you, keeping you from reaching a fuller potential.
How can you honor what anchors your roots, your important relationships, your history, while still finding the courage to expand, to grow?
What leap, however small it might feel? Or maybe it feels monumental. What leap could you take, starting now, that would allow you to become more integrated, to step into the world more fully, more authentically?
These are big questions.
They are. Growth often involves asking big questions.
And we genuinely love to hear your thoughts on this. Please share in the comments below the video or wherever you're listening. Was there a moment in your past when you feel you acted from a place of trauma, maybe like Will did, and ended up missing out on a significant opportunity because of it?
And perhaps more importantly, if you had that moment again today, knowing what you know now, having this awareness, what might you do differently?
Your reflections, your stories, it really do help everyone in this community learn and grow together. It's powerful stuff.
It really is.
So, as we wrap up this deep dive, let's just reaffirm the purpose of this whole series, exploring attachment styles in the movies.
Because characters like Will Hunting, they're such powerful mirrors, aren't they? They reflect parts of our own experience back to us.
Absolutely.
And recognizing our own patterns within their stories. Well, it's not just an interesting intellectual exercise. It's often the crucial first step toward real, meaningful change and healing in our own lives.
It's about finally being brave enough to uncrumple those invitations.
Yeah. And daring to see what's actually written inside. Daring to respond differently this time.
Thank you so much for joining us on this exploration of Good Will Hunting. We really hope it sparks some insights for you.
We do.
And we invite you to come back for our next deep dive. We'll be looking at another film, holding up another unique mirror for self-discovery.
Until then, keep exploring your inner patterns.
And keep uncrumpling those invitations.